Better Outcomes for Our Kids, also known as BOOK, is dedicated to increasing the access, awareness, and accountability of high-quality, publicly funded educational options for African American children.
Hello, I'm Andrew Young. Greetings from Atlanta, the greatest city in the world, mainly because we've had some of the best schools in the world, turned out some of the best people in the world, and you're joining that number, creating the generation of the future. And I'm here to talk with you about better outcome for our kids. Now, I might disagree with everything you've been taught, but remember, I started out in the worst public school in New Orleans, Louisiana, the Lena C. Jones School. But I always say that that's where I learned to be an ambassador. Education is the process of helping our children and ourselves to cope with the realities of life. Now, frankly, most of our schools don't do that. I'm a real believer in public education. My wife, I've been married twice, 40 years to one, 20 years to another. They were both wonderful because they were both school teachers. See, we go back to Socrates. And Socrates' argument was that education is not taking a child as an empty vase and filling him with knowledge. Education, according to Socrates, was pulling the knowledge that God has given to a child out of that child and helping them to believe in their God-given abilities, their God-given talents, and to use their minds to coordinate their bodies and their lives in a productive capacity. Now, we've gotten so bogged down in testing that any time I was tested, except once, I tested badly. The only time I tested well was when they were going to send me to Korea if I flunked. And somehow, out of 150, I got 142. But that's the only time, other than my early childhood tests, that I did okay because, well, I don't know. I've always insisted on doing things my way. Charter schools give us an opportunity to do something different, particularly when they don't discriminate against race, creed, age, economic status. The best education you can get is the education that helps you to deal with the least of these God's children. And I feel sorry sometimes for my parents and friends who send their children to private schools and pay big, big dollars, and then they come out and they can't get along with ordinary folk. And in business, the fortune is at the bottom of the pyramid. There are more people down at the bottom at Walmart and Sears than there are at the top with Neiman Marcus and Saks. And so if you're going to be in business, even if you're a doctor or an engineer, you're more than likely going to have to deal with ordinary people. And the best education for that is learning to deal with them very young, and that's in public schools. Now, if you can have the public schools with the charter freedom to give the parents and the faculty a chance to introduce new ideas, to try new things, all of us do not learn the same way. I don't read well. I suffered from attention deficit disorder and dyslexia. But I now read almost a book every other week because I know it's hard and I have to keep up. But with computers and with cell phones, and I listen to my son who also has reading problems, but he can talk to Siri or Google or somebody, and he's always got a smart answer for me, and it's usually accurate. So we're in a new age. Our children must learn to live in that. And the best thing you can do is what you're doing now, is look for better outcomes for our kids by learning from them and with them and not trying to stuff a whole lot of irrelevant facts. I was a biology major at Howard University and I did okay, but almost nobody knew about DNA when I was in school. I graduated 65 years ago. So everything they taught me is nonsense. And so learning how to learn is probably more important than what you learn. And that's why you're doing the right thing by being a part of trying to search out and seek better outcomes for our kids. God bless you and keep on keeping on. There's no way you can do wrong.
Thank you for viewing. We hope that you'll join us at our next event. Until then, you can support us in several ways. Get to know us, connect and volunteer, or join our wonderful team sponsors.